Hi, Jennifer Hancock here. So I'm the Bollywood Humanist. I like to review Bollywood movies, but talk about not just the technical aspects of the movie, but talk about the story of the movie as humanists would. What are we concerned about? How does the movie work? What are the social issues that were brought up by the movie? And over the weekend, I watched Naach, which it means dance, and it's a dance movie, and it's about, not to spoil it, but a dancer. It stars Antara Mali and Abhishek Bachchan and Ritesh Deshmukh, I think I said his name wrong, is in the second half of the movie. So what did I think of this? It's listed as a romance. And it's a romance, and it's got dance in it, but it's got really crappy choreography. For a dance movie, it's really insanely crappy, really bad choreography. In fact, the choreography reminded me of this movie, Natum Janu Nahum, with Hrithik Roshan in a love triangle. And it was like this modern, okay, so you have Hrithik, he's a really good dancer, and then you spend the movie having him not dance, but having people around him in patent leather outfits do abstract things while, say, a plane is on fire around him to show that he's, I guess, crashing and burning in his love life, which he isn't, regardless. There's a lot of patent leather, a lot of really abstract dancing, and the lead didn't dance. And this is what Naach is like. I don't know if I'm spelling it right. A lot of the dance sequences weren't really dance sequences. They were just kind of someone barely moving and contorting and really using a lot of control to control their body and calling it dance. It's modern and abstract, and that's fine. Most of the dancing didn't really tell a story. It was mostly about showing off how technical this particular dancer was. And hold on. Antara was great. Now, I did like the songs. The songs were really great. A lot of them, they weren't technically about sex, but they sounded a lot like people having sweet, really gentle sex. Like, that's what was coming up in my mind. And it wasn't necessarily the contortions, although that also played a role. But the songs were really, really sweet. I liked the way the singer used her voice. It was just really, really sweet. But the choreography was like, here's my vagina. I'm going to contort so you can, like, see everything. Now, Antara Mali has a great body, and she spends most of the film contorting so that we can see her cleavage or admire her really fine belly, which is amazingly toned, and this woman is very, very strong. Abhishek plays Abhi, wants to be a movie star. He does a good job. He can smolder really well, and he's sexy when he wants to be, and he is in this movie. Some of the choreography, I know, when I looked it up, because I was really thinking the choreographer was the same as in Natum Janu Nahum, but no, I think they were just made around the same time. Natum Janu Nahum was in 2002, and Naach is 2004. So I think this was just a phase that Bollywood was going through, where they had these abstract dance sequences that were really abstract. The movie does get better when Ritesh shows up. He's really sweet in the movie. He's really, really handsome. Of course, I'm a really huge fan of him. So it was a weird movie. It was a lot about sex and abstract dance, standing in for sex. So, what's not to like about that, I guess? The point of the movie, getting back to that, is uncompromising art versus practical art. And she is an uncompromising artist, and she refuses to work on certain songs if they don't speak to her. She refuses Abi's help when she's trying to get started in the industry. She helps him learn how to dance so he can get started, but she won't take his help to get her started and get her career started. She wants to stand on her own 2 feet, and there's nothing wrong with that. But she doesn't want to compromise her art to get into the industry. She wants people to accept her for who she is. And again, nothing wrong with that. I think most artists have felt that way at some point. But the other kind of topic that is brought up has to do with incremental change versus radical revolution change. And she doesn't want to get into this incrementally and use her status to then create change. She wants people to take her as is right now, and if they can't accept her as is, she's fine not doing this at all. Okay? And at some point when she breaks up with Abi, it's because he's trying to help her. And she didn't want his help. And he's like, why won't you let me help you? I want to marry you. That's what people do when they like each other. They help each other. And she's like, no, you don't understand. And she gets silent and looks out the window pensively. Just pensively looking out the window. Not saying anything. And he's rightly getting upset with her because she's giving him the silent treatment. I have to say I agreed more with his character than her. She was really annoying to me. Like, she was the sort of person I just don't have a lot of patience for. And I'm curious to find out what you all thought of this if you've seen it. For me, people do help people, and accepting help is a sign of maturity. Refusing help is a sign of being immature and selfish. People need help. We need each other. And she helped him, and he wants to help her, but she's refusing because he just doesn't understand. No, I think he understood. I think he called her out correctly in the car scene, and was rightly frustrated with her. He was supporting her. He loved her art. He just was saying, look, you get a job, and you can shine that way and move the needle to where you want to go. And you just don't understand. I can't be with someone who doesn't support me 100%. And she leaves him. She just gets out of the car and walks. Now I'm an artist. I've been around artists. I've had friends who are artists. I have friends with Academy Awards. Getting a foot in the door, doing something you want to do, doesn't mean you're selling out. It means getting known so that you can then push things in the direction you want them to go. It's this idea of incremental change versus radical change. And a lot of people aren't patient with incremental change, but the way things happen tends to be incremental. The people who did the choreography in the early 2000s, all this abstract choreography, they got those jobs because someone knew them. And even the jobs she gets, when she finally gets a job with the Ritesh character, it's because the guy that first hired Abi remembered her and recommended her. So she accepted that help, but she doesn't accept help from her lover. What the heck? Are you kidding me? That just annoys me. People who won't let you help them and tell you that you're not supporting them when that's all you're trying to do, annoy me. They just annoy me. Paying the bills is a necessity in life. As I was watching this and thinking about it, it reminded me of Lee Ritenour, and I'm not sure if y'all know who he is. He's an American jazz guitarist. He's very, very famous. For a while in the 70s and 80s, he was very, very famous. Lightning fingers. He's an incredible virtuoso of a guitarist, and it's because his passion is classical guitar. If he could, he would spend every day, all day, playing classical guitar. And the reason I know this is I used to play in a big band, and Lee Ritenour was an alumni of the student band I was in, the Esquires. And he came in one time and he did a session with us, and we got to ask him questions. And he said, I don't really like jazz. Here I am, a famous jazz guitarist, and I'm not a real fan of jazz music, but jazz music pays the bill. And I have the privilege of spending all day, every day playing classical music to my heart's content because my bills are paid, because I'm doing stuff that people want me to do. And I've always taken that forward, that doing something for commercial purposes is not a bad thing. It can set you up to do all the other things you want to do. Like, I wanted to stop bullying. Well, I can't do that. I can't dedicate myself to that unless people pay me to have a life to do that. So I have to do things to make a living so that I can do the social change I want to have. So I look at her perspective, and I think that is so incredibly immature of her. I mean, I understand the desire to be pure in her art form, but it's not that people that are telling her to get a job don't understand her perspective. It's that she's not understanding their perspective. Communication goes two ways. And she wasn't willing to listen to her lover, the guy that it turns out she totally is in love with. She's not willing to listen to him, give her advice, and help her. She only wants him to listen to her. And that, to me, is selfish. I think that's why I responded to it selfishly. It's true, had she taken some of these jobs, that she could have been taken off course. But not if she's really clear of her purpose. And again, it's the difference between creating change incrementally, getting your foot in the door so that you can get in front of the right people so that they will give you an opportunity to create the change you want, versus radical change and holding out until you have the right people around you that just believe in you. And really, it was her boyfriend's connections that led her to the guy that eventually, the Ritesh character, that eventually believes in her. She could have probably done a lot more and had a lot less drama in her life had she been in a position to do, and she would have been in a position to do more innovative things had she not played the game, but had she allowed the guy who was really her fiance to help her. So not allowing people to help you is really, really selfish. You know, people like to help other people. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel like their life has meaning. And so, like, resisting people helping you, I know it's really, really hard. And that's something I had to get over myself. And that's maybe why where I am now, I view that I don't need help attitude as very immature and selfish. So I'm curious what y'all thought of it. You know, obviously it was a very sexy movie in terms of the contortion. I didn't really care for the choreography, but I thought the performances were good.